Happiness and Intelligence by me. So why this subject? While trying to find a subject, I knew I wanted to cover something about intelligence, but I had a hard time trying to narrow down the specifics. While trying to figure out a specific subject for this essay, I decided to watch a video to help clear my mind. I noticed in that video that there was a character that was labeled as smart and didn't know how to process their emotions. Figured I would investigate that relationship, and I found there's a lot of media tropes. Found that a lot of smarter characters in TV shows and other media are usually written to have poor emotional skills, or to be less happy, or even to be not emotional at all. And I found this to be a pretty lazy writing tactic, and this has indirectly caused a misconception on how people perceive intelligence. The thesis I made based on my findings. I found that happiness is something that can be affected by intelligence, but not in the way media tropes portray them. Happiness is related to intelligence by a positional effect, emotional variability, and has different effects depending on the type of intelligence. Happiness is something everyone wants to have, or at least I hope. But how would intelligence affect that? Intelligence wouldn't change how much emotion someone can feel. Just think about it. If you were better or worse at learning a skill or information, do you really think that would magically make them not be able to feel an emotion? Emotional variability. I found that when higher intelligence is present, emotional variability decrease. What that essentially means is intelligence seems to decrease how often people change emotionally, which is different from the misconception believes it to be. It seems intelligence gives someone's emotional state more resistance to change. This is backed by studies done in 2015 by Satoshi Kanazawa. He and his colleagues found that emotional variability, the change of emotion, decreases with intelligence. He supports this claim by saying there's many reasons to why someone would change an emotion, but either way, intelligence seems to decrease it. The positional effect. Did you know where you live has an influence on you? Living in cities especially can have a large impact on you mentally, but it's not all good. I found that people in cities don't really seem to be happy overall. One reason for this could be due to the Savannah theory. The Savannah theory is a common theory among evolutionary psychologists, and it's how we would respond to things similar to how we would thousands of years ago. And big cities have a lot of things that weren't around thousands of years ago. And that could be a reason that there aren't as much happiness in cities. But what does the positional effect with the Savannah theory have to do with intelligence? It's been found intelligence can reduce the Savannah effect. More intelligent people are less affected by the big cities, meaning that intelligence makes people more resistant to the environment around them. This is only measuring logical intelligence, though. There are different kinds of intelligence, like verbal intelligence, for instance. Verbal intelligence has a positional effect where it depends on the peers around you and how intelligent they are compared to you. Positional effect. This positional effect has been studied by Boris Nikolov and as well as Satoshi Kanazawa in 2017. They both have done lots of research and were both peer-reviewed by experts in the field. Intelligence types. There was a guy called Howard Gardner in 1983 who came along with his theory of multiple intelligence and revolutionized how people think. We now have many different categories due to this, and intelligence is now divided up into logical, spatial, interpersonal, intimate, and many more. These different types of intelligence have vastly different effects on people feel. The media trope that smart people are unfeeling or any other kind of statement towards intelligence is kind of flawed. Defining if someone is smart is also kind of flawed because it kind of blankets every kind of intelligence into one. And that doesn't make a whole lot of sense because they all have vastly different effects on how people think. The title of Howard Gardner's book was Frames of Mind, and it was published in 1983. he proved his multiple intelligence theory. And another study on multiple intelligence types was the Nikolov study that also covers verbal intelligence, in which they show that verbal IQ is strongly associated with happiness. Why should you care though? This information actually is useful for the average person. Knowing the kind of intelligence you're most proficient in could help you learn by optimizing learning methods. You could also get into a career path that is more suited to the way you think. Knowing oneself is a great way to improve lots of small things, too. Understanding what works best for you can have a huge effect on things like memorization, organization, and stress management. And that's the end to this. Thank you for watching.